I'm Tom Cooper, Executive Director of Sandestin Owners Association, and you're watching Tom Talks. On today's episode of Tom Talks, we're going to dive a little bit into the SOA Board Election process. Now, the board is made up of 9 members. 6 of those members are Class A homeowners, and 2 are Class B commercial representatives. The declarant, or the developer, which is currently SDI, holds 1 seat in perpetuity, and each year prior to the annual meeting, the declarant is to notify the association of who that person is. And the makeup of the board is there are 4 officers: president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. All the officers are elected by the directors at the first regular meeting of the board in the new year. So a couple years ago, the SOA changed that process wherein November 1st actually starts the board year. It's not a calendar year, it's the board year. And at that first meeting in November, the board will elect its officers for the next year. So how the election works, the election takes place every year at the advisory board or annual meeting, and the directors are elected by the members of the advisory board. Now, the advisory board is compiled of presidents of each neighborhood. To be qualified to be a candidate, you have to be a Class A member for a Class A seat, or a Class B member in the case of a Class B seat. Now, the bylaws were also changed to allow for a Class B member who is not, or a Class B candidate who is not a Class B member, to be eligible for election or nomination in the event a Class B member files an affidavit authorizing that candidate. So all candidates must be in good standing with the SOA. Good standing means you are in no financial despair with the association, and your dues and assessments are up to date. The director that is elected for 3 years. You can do 2 3-year stints, then you have to take a year off, and then you can come back for another 2 3-year stints, and you can do that as long as you like. And once the election is over, you will begin, or the candidates will begin, the nominees will begin serving their term on November 1st. So the SOA election is not based on ballots submitted by each member. Your president, your neighborhood president, casts a ballot for your neighborhood, and we encourage you to know the candidates and make your voice heard to your president as to who you wish or you believe should be elected. The directors are elected by the advisory board at the annual meeting, like I said, and the advisory board representative is able to cast as many votes for each seat as there are units in good standing. So what that means is, for simple math, if your neighborhood has 50 units and there are 5 units in your neighborhood that are not in good standing with the SOA, that means you have 45 available votes. If there are 2 candidates, or 3 or 4, and your board president and your community elects to split those votes up and give a few votes to each candidate, you're welcome to do that. Or you can cast a ballot for the one candidate. You do get to vote for each seat available. This year there's 2, so you'll have be able to cast 2 ballots. And as we're wrapping up today, we always need good people on our board. So there have been many board members served tirelessly over the years, and numerous stints on the board of directors. But we need some new folks to come in and learn the ropes and get acquainted with how the operation works, and we're always seeking qualified candidates. So We encourage you to get involved. And until then, you guys have an awesome weekend.